Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over Nasomatto Absinth. If you see my other videos, you'll know that I'm a big fan of the House of Nasomatto. I think all their scents are innovative, strange, interesting, very powerful, very good longevity. Everything is extrait, so all the scents really have some chutzpah to them. This one right here is meant to evoke the feelings, the smells of absinthe. And reading on the back, this bottle of perfume is part of the Project Nasomatto. This fragrance aims to evoke the degrees of hysteria. It is a result of a quest to simulate irresponsible behavior. And that's just what it says on the tin. We're looking at a fragrance that was inspired to smell like absinthe. Of course, what you're going to get is wormwood in the beginning, and it really blows your nostrils. I mean, it tickles them like your nose hairs and everything. The beginning is very sharp and it opens quite strongly, but unlike other Nasomattos, the overall longevity, the performance of this is on the lower end of what you'd expect from the line. Something else interesting that I like is the caps kind of tell a little bit about the fragrance and where they're going to go, at least I think. Maybe that's a conspiracy theory, but the square caps are typically the more masculine and the round caps are typically the more feminine. And I guess, and there's more to the caps as well. You know, with this, you can see this clean wood, and this is kind of a woody. I wouldn't call it a clean fragrance, though. This is kind of a bitter, dirty, rooty fragrance with lots of interesting nuances to it. In the beginning, of course, I told you get that really strong nose tingly wormwood hit, but that kind of dies down. And it becomes overall through the length of the fragrance a vetiver. And don't let that scare you, because I know vetiver is typically seen as an older person smell. And, you know, it's just very, I don't want to say like a generic kind of friendly smell. But Nasomatto takes in a different direction. They have lots of bitter pine in here. It keeps it fresh but challenging, is what I would say. It's this weird, it walks this line of what would be very acceptable in a lot of generic fragrances and very strange nuances. One of them would be dried fruits. Not a lot of people talk about it, but there's definitely, I get to my nose, dried fruits, dried apple, dried grapes. And it's one of those tart green apples, like a Granny Smith, and the grapes are kind of tart green grapes. This is a completely green fragrance. I mean, if I had to paint a color of it, it would be green, but a little bit of brownish, because there is some kind of dirtiness to it. Not animalic dirtiness, not really musky dirtiness, but kind of like soily dirtiness to it. And a lot of people say it can smell like a garden, like the soily garden with all the roots and things growing in it. And I can see that. I think it's a little more fruity and sweet than people talk about. There's a little bit of vanilla in here, and the apple adds a really interesting note to it, and it really makes your mouth water. When I smell it, that apple, it just evokes something, I start salivating, and I guess, you know, my nose recognizes it as something edible. Of course, this is not even remotely a gourmand, but that's just an interesting sensation I get that I wouldn't get from like a lot of gourmand fragrances. So I guess there is something very true that rings true in my nose that tells me, you know, the edibleness of the fruit. The longevity is not so good. I take that back. It's, for Nasomatto, not so good, but in general, other fragrances, it's good. You'll get, you know, 4, 5, 6 hours on this, on skin. It lasts longer on closed skin. I don't know, something what's in here with the ingredients, the skin eats it up a lot quicker than the other Nasomatto notes. So, but it's still, you're still going to get great performance from it. This is, of course, the 30 milliliter bottle, and it doesn't look like much, but it's an extrait, so you're doing 1 or 2 sprays every time. You don't need to hose yourself down. This isn't Eros, folks. 1 or 2 will do you. Projection is so-so as well. As far as Nasomatto goes, you know, if you're used to other houses, then this would be totally acceptable. But Nasomatto, you're primed and expected to have this just room gassing and filling sillage, and that's not what you're going to get. You're going to get something closer, something more friendly, something you can wear to work, something you can wear anywhere, really. You could wear this anywhere without offending anyone. This is not offensive. It's definitely a little strange, but it's not offensive at all. It's just different, but, you know, a good neutral disposition different. Besides that, I would say it's for the spring. It's for the warmer months. This is a warmer weather fragrance. I think the cold would really mute this. Because when I say the bitter pine, you think, oh, this could be something in the fall because of that just piney greenness. And it could. There's nothing wrong with wearing it in the fall, and you could, but the cold is really going to suppress that projection. This is just a softer Nasomatto. I think it would be great in the spring. This is a spring fragrance to me. And people who are typically averse to green fragrances, don't go near this because it is very green. But I want to say if you are averse to green fragrances, perhaps give this one some consideration because it takes it in a different direction. Maybe there's something in here that will change your perspective on green fragrances because my only other green fragrance beside this is Imaginary Author's Cape Heartache. And I like it because it kind of gives me that Christmas tree piney. It's not just like grass. I guess it's like grass green that I don't like. And this isn't really grass green. This is roots, bark, tree, I guess that appley, the vetiver. So it's a definitely, I don't know. I guess some people are, what is it that, I guess that aquatic green is what people don't like. I'm looking for a word. But yeah, this would be a lot more friendly to you if you would be interested to try a green fragrance and go back against what you previously held against them. Nasomatto prices, it's not going to be cheap. You can find it cheaper. I feel that like there's like a street value of the Nasomatto bottles because some of them like Pardon are very expensive, and then the stranger ones like China White, like Absinthe, you can get for quite a lot cheaper. So I think the street value has corrected what are the good fragrances and what aren't, but that's not true. And especially if you're a fan of the lesser like Nasomatto, like I like Nudiflorum, it's good for me and it's good for you because you can just get them a lot cheaper than the baseline Nasomatto prices. You're going to pay a markup for Pardon and Black Afghano jumps up and down. I know I sound like I just know the market of Nasomatto, but it's my favorite house. And they, the diversity of the fragrances in the house kind of check every box for what I'm looking for. So they always have something that has my mood of what I'm looking for. And I don't want a whole giant collection of just the blah. So I like these. The bottles are very pretty. They look great next to each other. I'm just, a little anal about things. So I put it in the box when I'm done with it and put it away in a dark closet. But anyways, that's all, folks. I'll see you next time.